Hey, it's me, Vicki and Marie. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Jumba. Hello, David. Hi. Gosh, I don't know. My eyes are burning. I don't know why. I actually do not know why, but my eyes are burning a little bit. So we've had the oven on. Well, I cleaned the oven not long ago. I think there might be something still that maybe I didn't rinse it out properly because I feel like my eyes are burning. But anyway, hello, good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Thanks for being here with me at this moment, anyway, wherever you're watching from. I have got a little glass of vino tonight, which is why I put the vino emoji, because quite often I have a little glass of vino on a Monday evening. Because I work late, I have a long day of classes on a Monday. And then what with the videos as well, it makes a long day. You might tell I'm really quite tired, but I wanted to come on tonight and look at, the interviews with Joel's parents, Joel, who did this terrible attack in the Sydney shopping centre. And, it's a hell of a conundrum, really, is because it seems like Joel was really quite seriously mentally ill, and his mental illness has led to the deaths and tragedy that it's left to. Hi, Tracy. It's led to all that tragedy, and it just makes you think, is mental health being dealt with properly? And then there's been another attack in Sydney, not obviously connected, and we're going to look at that as well. Hi, Mariah. I am enjoying my wine, Charlie. The trouble is, I've just eaten, then I'll have the wine, do the live, and that'll be it. I'll be just crashed out then. But you know what? If we're here and we're enjoying each other's company, and we're talking about things, and we're lucky because there are people who got up on Saturday morning there in Sydney, went off shopping to the mall, just like you do on a Saturday, and they're not there now to, they're not there to enjoy a glass of wine, or to enjoy chatting with their friends, or to enjoy, their families, etc. So we have to just make the most of every moment that we've got, really, don't we? Because we don't know. We literally do not know. It's quite scary, isn't it? Because even if you don't leave the house, you don't know, if a bloody car's going to crash into you, or a crane's going to fall on top of you, or, a bomb's going to drop on top of you, or a plane's going to crash into you. You just never know. So you've just got to make the most of every minute, and that's what we're going to do, in the sense of chatting to each other. So, hi, Rio. Rio, you're not working tonight. I hope you're well, Rio. I hope you're feeling better, because I know you had the terrible lurgy, didn't you, for a while? Does anyone know anything about Jean? Is Jean? I haven't heard anything from Jean. I haven't said hi, Jean, for ages. I might have to send her an email and see if she's okay. You don't like to bug people because maybe they just haven't wanted to watch, or maybe they've got things going on. But I hope she's okay. Anyway, so what else was I going to tell you before I started? Not a lot, really. Just had a little whinge about my eyes, and that I'm having a glass of wine, and that reminds me, actually, my vitamin tablets. I've got hardly any left because I dropped them all on the floor the other day. Anyway, I need to get some more, but I'm going to take these now. Sorry to be rude and take them, but the thing is, if I don't take them now, I'll forget later. I have to take them when I remember. Hope so, Cal. Send her an email. Sorry, there you go. Taking my vitamin tablets. And there may be that sometimes, like a lot of people join in the chat. Some people don't like to join in the chat, or maybe they just like to join in the chat every now and again. And I don't want to make people feel like they're forced to join in the chat. But I think you miss people like Jean sometimes because she always does join in the chat. So I hope she's okay. I will be in touch with her. Yeah, her brother was poorly, but then he was okay. He was okay. What worries me a little bit is Jean was a little bit poorly. But anyway, I will get in touch with her, so let's not worry about her. And hopefully she's okay. She might just not have wanted to watch my channel. I might have totally pissed her off, and she might just have thought, oh God, I'm not watching that channel ever again. So you never know. So, okay, let's have a look. What's happening in so this was very, very sad today, watching Joel's parents talk, wasn't it? It was very, very sad. Let's have a look at the interview with his parents. I mean, I just can't imagine what that feels like. Can you? You just watching the telly and you know that your son has got problems, but you're watching the telly and there you go, you're watching this terrible incident in Sydney. And not only that, then you think, oh my God, that's my son. So let's see. Let's have a look at the interviews.
Extremely sorry. I'm heartbroken for you. Look, this is so horrendous that I can't even explain it. You're trying to give you an intelligent conversation. I can't do it because I'm just devastated. I love my son. I made myself a servant.
Now, so this is his dad, isn't it, talking? Let's just watch that again from the beginning.
Extremely sorry. I'm heartbroken for you. Look, this is so horrendous that I can't even explain it. You're trying to give you an intelligent conversation. I can't do it because I'm just devastated.
I don't know how I must feel. I mean, I just cannot imagine how that feels.
I love my son. I made myself a servant to my son when I found out he had a mental illness. I became his servant. I did everything because I love that boy. To you, he's a monster. To me, he was a very sick boy. Believe me.
I think this family, these parents, they've been through hell with Joel. From when he started off with his mental illness, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was set off by drugs of some kind, or alcohol, whatever, but probably drugs, to be honest, I think. And he started off with his mental health issues when he was a teenager, and they've probably been struggling to cope with it ever since. They've probably done everything they can to support him, to help him, to no avail. And, it was said that he'd stopped taking his tablets, wasn't it? This is what a lot of people with mental illness do. And I know this from personal experience, from family. When they start to feel better, once you finally can get them on the tablets, because they don't want to go on the tablets, they don't think it's anything. In the beginning, they don't think there's anything wrong. It's probably all your fault. I know this, as I say, from family members. It's all the parents' fault. And if only, they would have had better parents, they would never have ended up like so. Anyway, time goes on and eventually you do manage to persuade them to go to the doctors, get on some tablets. And then they start to feel better and then they go, oh, well, I don't need these tablets anymore. I feel great. I don't need tablets. I think that happens so often. And then the trouble is, once they're an adult, how do you make them take the tablets? You can't. You cannot make them take the tablets. Medical health professionals, they won't listen to you because they have to talk, to the person. They won't listen to you as a parent because your child is of age. And, they often, they won't even tell you the details or, let you help in any way because suddenly your child is not a child anymore, they're an adult and they have to, do their own things. Or, it's a nightmare. I know it's a nightmare. I think these parents have probably been through hell with Joel over the years. I mean, he's 40 now, so you can imagine if that started when he was 18. So they've had 22 years of hell, probably, not knowing where he was, and there'll have been times where he'll have been okay. Those will have been the times when he was taking his tablets, probably. And so many times that he wasn't okay, and they've probably been up, down, up, down. He's okay, then he's not okay, then he's okay. It's probably been absolute hell for them. I really feel for them. I mean, I feel for Joel as well. I know it's terrible, the things he's done, but he was probably living in his own hell, to be fair.
Very sick boy.
This is a parent's absolute nightmare.
So here's the mother now.
When they have a child with mental illness, that something like this would happen. And my heart goes out to the people our son has hurt. If he was in his right mind, he would be absolutely devastated at what he has done. But he obviously was not in his right mind. He somehow had been triggered into a psychosis and he'd lost touch with reality.
I'm extremely sorry. I'm heartbroken for you. Look, this is so horrendous that I can't even explain it. You're trying to give you an intelligent conversation. I can't do it because I'm just devastated. I love my son. I made myself a servant to my son when I found out he had a mental illness. I became his servant. I did everything because I love that boy. To you, he's a monster. To me, he was a very sick boy. Believe me, he was a very sick boy.
This is a parent's absolute nightmare when they have a child with mental illness, that something like this would happen. And my heart goes out to the people our son has hurt. If he was in his right mind, he would be absolutely devastated at what he has done. But he obviously was not in his right mind. He somehow had been triggered into a psychosis and he'd lost touch with reality.
So, yeah, I agree. I think, let me just say hello to people that I've missed. Hi, Heather. Hi, Simon. Hi, Annie. I think I said hello to Tracy, but of course it gets to the point where I can't remember who I've said hello to or not. But if I haven't said hello to you, please say hello. Oh, Heather. Hi, Heather. Or did I say hello to? I forget who I've said hello to and who I haven't said hello to. But I agree, Chumba. I think he is at peace now. He's at peace. Probably for the first time since he was a teenager. And his parents are in some kind of peace as well. Because as I say, you don't have to, it gets to that point where the parents, they must worry about him every day. And we're going to look at another interview now. It's the same interview, but it seems to be a little bit longer than the one that they showed there on Sky News as far as the father was concerned. Yeah, the father, I think it was December the last time he saw him. But anyway, let's listen to this. Oh.
Something you want to say to the victims, though, from your family?
I'm extremely sorry. I'm heartbroken for you. Look, this is so horrendous that I can't even explain it. You're trying to give you an intelligent conversation. I can't do it because I'm just devastated. I love my son. I made myself a servant to my son when I found out he had a mental illness. I became his servant. I did everything because I love that boy.
Do you have any reason to understand why he would have targeted women?
Yes.
Why?
Because he wanted a girlfriend and he's got no social skills. And
this is interesting because, of course, he was an escort, wasn't he? A male and female. He was an escort for men and women. So, because he was a handsome boy, wasn't he? Very handsome. When we saw the photos of him from a few years ago, looks a bit like Gino D'Acampo, very handsome guy. But he says he had no social skills whatsoever. You know, when people have got mental illness, their social skills, their mind just crumbles when they try and talk to people. They just can't think of anything to say. They don't think people will be interested in what they've got to say. And you know what? Sometimes those people are the most confident appearing people in the world. You know, and you think, oh, you know, they're like really sociable, and inside they're not. You know, you never know what is going on inside someone's head. You just never know. And this man, you know, it's just awful what he's ended up doing. So awful that it's hard to find pity for him. But then there's, in another way, I do feel pity for him. But why would he feel that he had to stab a baby? I think with all of us, that's the thing, isn't it? More than anything. I mean, it's horrible that he stabbed anyone, of course it is, but just there's something about stabbing a baby that you just think, what? That's not, you know, so many people have mental illness, but they don't think about doing things like that. So, oh, it really is a horrible, horrible case, this.
He was frustrated out of his brain. I love my son, and I want to find out what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong, why he would do this. You have no idea how beautiful this boy is. Everything in my power to help him. I'd go down to Brisbane, spend the day with him, take him to the Gold Coast, take him wherever he wanted, and put myself all these bloody fines that the toll roads give me because I don't have a knee toll thing. You know, and look, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do or say that can bring them back to dead.
Okay.
Anthony, no one's blaming you, just so you know.
I know that, but I mean,
you know,
he's my son.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, he's my son, and I'm loving a monster. To you, he's a monster. To me, he was a very sick boy. Believe me, he was a very sick boy. You know, and if I had seen any signs, I mean, I took him to a restaurant just a few months earlier in Toowoomba, and he embarrassed me totally. And I just said, Lord, if
Now, I think this is the last time we saw him, which was in December last year. That was what they said. It was in December last year, and he said he took him to a restaurant and he embarrassed him, but he didn't seem to. But he says he doesn't remember how he embarrassed him, but he must remember. I don't believe that, to be honest.
this was not my son, there was no way I would take him to a restaurant to be this embarrassed. And I forget what he did. It's probably just his dirty shirt. It's probably dirtier than me, but I'm in the garden, so I've got an excuse. But he was just, I don't know if it's dirty shirt or something else, but my memory is, I'm 76, so I'm pretty old.
Andrew, there was at Christmas time. Was he home at Christmas time?
Mental illness is horrendous.
I think this guy looks completely shell-shocked, to be honest. I don't like the way all the reporters are around him like that. You know, they've obviously found out where he lives, and there they are. They're all encircling him and getting him to talk. They've caught, he's in the gardening. They've caught him, you know, not at his best moments. So he's not had a chance to sort of brush his hair and put on a shirt or whatever. I don't really like this, actually, what these reporters have done to him. Oh, you know, but this is the mainstream media. They're allowed to do that. If the social media did that, everyone would be complaining.
And I want to say, if you want to help the mentally ill, if you want to help those that some mentally ill people kill, do something about not killing anyone who just raises a knife. They shoot them dead, whether they've hurt anybody or not, and they get shot dead. Well, you're encouraging the mentally ill to do something crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about, because
encouraging the mentally ill to do something
what
crazy.
Trying to say there
about not killing anyone who just raises a knife. They shoot them dead, whether they've hurt anybody or not, and they get shot dead. Well, you're encouraging the mentally ill to do something crazy.
What is he talking about there? Because he said he's talking about people raising a knife and getting shot dead. I don't think he's talking about his son there. I don't think he's talking about what happened with his son, because I think everybody would agree that policewoman, as sad as it is that she shot him, she had to shoot him. I mean, he'd stabbed all those people, killed all those people. all the witnesses said she clearly said to him, drop the knife, and he lunged at her. She had to shoot him. But what I'm trying to say is, who's he talking about here?
I want to say, if you want to help the mentally ill, if you want to help those that some mentally ill people kill, do something about not killing anyone who just raises a knife. They shoot them dead, whether they've hurt anybody or not, and they get shot dead. Well, you're encouraging the mentally ill to do something crazy.
What is he? I'm not actually sure what he's talking about there, to be honest. We'll watch it one more time, then we're going to watch.
Mental illness is horrendous, and I want to say, if you want to help the mentally ill, if you want to help those that some mentally ill people.
Hi, Annie and Jojo.
Kill. Do something about not killing anyone who just raises a knife. They shoot them dead, whether they've hurt anybody or not, and they get shot dead. Well, you're encouraging the mentally ill to do something crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, let's...
Something you want to say to the victims?
So, of course, then on top of that, today or yesterday, let's just look at the mum talking again. Funny they didn't talk together. So this is, so that was his dad, Joel's dad, and now this is Michelle, his mum. It's funny that they didn't sort of appear together somehow. I don't know. I think these reports have completely caught them off guard. So, I mean, he probably was. I agree with that. I expect it was a psychosis. Maybe he would never have thought of doing anything like that before. But anyway, we'll just watch this because this is a video talking about. This is good news about the wounded people. Hang on. Let's get it up there. Just got to share it. Hang on, bear with. So a lot of people were asking about the baby. The baby is in good, touch wood. Oh gosh, I haven't lit my candle. Let's light my candle when I can find it. The baby is in serious but stable condition. So that's positive. But not only the baby, of course, there are other people that are in hospital after this attack. And hopefully, they're all going to be okay. Just lighting my candle, which I'm not sure if you can see or not. Gosh. I don't know if you... I just put myself on there showing the candle just to show you that I've lit the candle. So that's for this particular candle that I'm lighting. Is for all the ones that are injured and hope they'll be okay. Right, I've got to go back to this now. Oh, when I'm tired, it's a nightmare. Technology is a nightmare at the best of times, but when I'm tired, it's even worse. Oh, and I just want to say, I just noticed what David said there. Babies can be very resilient. It's true. Babies and children, it's amazing what they can survive. Many, many, many years ago, one of my nieces We went to pick her up from school. I went with my sister to pick her up from school. She came running out of school. She was a very sort of hyper child. She come running out of school. Car hit her. She flew up into the air and splat on the pavement right in front of our eyes. We stood there and watched this accident happen. And she had no bones broken. No bones broken. I mean, she wasn't a baby, don't get wrong. But she was, I don't know, how old was she? Maybe 5, 6 years old, 7 at the most. But the thing is, when children are young like that, first of all, their bones are very flexible, because their bones haven't been formed yet. If that's like the older you get, the more likely you are to break your bones if you fall over, because the younger you are, the more flexible your bones are. And when you're very, very young, like a child, your bones are like rubber almost. And that was it. She was fine. I think she was fine. I can't even remember any particular injury that she had. But that's because children in general not only can be resilient, but he stabbed that baby several times and that baby has survived. I mean, thanks to the guys as well, the 2 brothers that we saw the interview with them, who stemmed the bleeding, that's something to learn that's important, is if you try and pack the wounds, you've just got to try and stop that bleeding. Thanks to their quick thinking, thanks to the mother's quick thinking and giving the baby to the 2 brothers. The 2 brothers, what they did, the first responders, etc. But that baby, when you think of how many times it was stabbed, how has it survived, really? How has she survived? Oh, sorry.
ICU, but thankfully.
The Sydney Children's Hospital this evening. Amber, as we've reported, there's encouraging news on the condition of the wounded baby.
Mark, Ashley Good's 9-month-old daughter does remain here in ICU, but thankfully she's improving. Her condition no longer critical, now listed as serious but stable. A total of 7 of the 12 survivors do remain in hospitals across the city tonight. 5 of those are in intensive care, 2 are listed as serious. But for those who didn't survive, Mark, there have been more special tributes. 6 lives senselessly lost in an afternoon of terror and tragedy.
You're looking at who's coming up each time, who's going to be the next one that's named. Jade's face come up and I was just in shock.
47-year-old Jade Young, a talented architect, her boss saying anyone who knew Jade knew what a beautiful, kind and warm soul she was. Also a wife and mum, robbed of the chance to see her 2 girls grow up. One attended this Vaucluse daycare centre, as did Dawn Singleton.
What a delight she was, lovely soul and lovely person.
The 25-year-old bride-to-be and daughter of entrepreneur John Singleton only bought her wedding dress a week ago. An amazing, sweet and kind-hearted person who her colleagues said was taken from this world far too soon. 55-year-old Pikri Adasia, an artist and designer from Georgia, killed at the place friends say brought her so much joy.
You will see her all the time at the shopping centres.
As loved ones of 38-year-old Ashley Good pray for her daughter's recovery, remembering her mother who died trying to save her.
She had this beautiful zest for life. She was the ray of sunshine.
The family of Chinese student Yizheng Cheng forced to make the unimaginable journey to Australia, as are the brothers of 30-year-old security guard Faraz Dahir, the Pakistani refugee who worked so hard to give back to his new home.
He was always involved in charity work and a very jolly, loving person, kind and caring.
Honoured and remembered for how they lived rather than how they died. Amber Laidler, 7 News.
So I think that security guard, wasn't it his first shift or something? I mean, he'd only just started in the job, hadn't he? It was terrible, really. Anyway, Okay, what I want to look at now is this other, I don't know if you'd call it a stabbing or an attack. Let me see, I've probably lost it now because I was looking at other things. Have I lost it? Let's see. Had it up here ready to watch, but then
Hello, I'm Mark Ferguson, live from...
I got involved in other things. Here it is.
Good evening. I'm outside the Christ the Good Shepherd Church in Wakeley, which is the scene of a second mass stabbing event in Sydney.
Yeah, so a second mass stabbing attack in Sydney, but this seems to be more religion-based.
This church and its grounds are now a crime scene after a man approached a clergyman mid-sermon and stabbed him multiple times whilst it was being live streamed. We can't show you much of the very confronting video.
Yeah, oh, well, I've got to be careful what I show because YouTube had the write-up about, you know, about the coverage that I did of the Sydney thing. They've demonetised everything and, you know, just sent me lots of sort of messages saying, oh, no, you can't show things like that. But, you know, I don't know. I'll probably get into trouble for this, but no.
But I can tell you many members of the congregation leapt to the defence of the bishop and in doing so sustained multiple wounds. Police have arrested the attacker whilst 8 ambulances are currently treating the wounded. It is an incredibly chaotic scene here with many members of the community outraged and crowding the streets. Ambulances were called at 7:15 p.m. and have just begun transporting the clergyman to Liverpool Hospital with multiple stab wounds. We're still awaiting an official condition from paramedics. They're also treating a man in his 30s with multiple stab wounds, a man in his 20s who have suffered a hand laceration, and a man in his 60s who was slashed across the arm. It's understood this was a funeral and will now make up one of the key lines of inquiry for police, trying to control this situation and investigate the second mass stabbing event in Sydney in 3 days. Good evening. I'm outside the Christ the Good Shepherd.
So you're talking about a place like Sydney that's never had anything like this happen before, and suddenly they've had 2 events in 3 days. So he just said there it was a funeral, didn't he? Let's see if I can. I don't know much about this, to be honest. I've only just really, well, I heard about it earlier today, but I haven't had a chance to look into it. So I need to, let's have a look what Sky News are going to say. They're normally quite good. So Sky News says, a video online appears to show Bishop Mary Emmanuel being attacked during a service in the Wakeley area. So I think is this a Muslim church or a Muslim? Is it a mosque or I honestly do not know all the details. Several people have been stabbed during a service at a church in Sydney. A video online appears to show Bishop Mary Emmanuel being attacked during the service at the Christ the Good Shepherd Church. So it's a Christian church. Barely 48 hours after an earlier mass stabbing attack in the city. It's not clear what the bishop was attacked with, and members of the congregation can be heard screaming and rushing to help the bishop. A man has been arrested, so they do have someone in custody, thank God. 4 people were injured in the attack. A man in his 50s suffered multiple lacerations and has been taken to hospital in a serious condition, along with a man in his 30s. And then a man in his 60s and a man in his 20s were treated at the scene. So let's have a look at the Sky News video. So I'm not sure what language he's speaking there. What language is that?
When he entered the temple again, the chief priests and the elders of the people approached the Lord and said, yesterday, by whose authority did you do that? Who gave you the authority to overthrow the tables and kick people out and say, my house is the house of prayer, and you've turned it into a den of thieves? We know and believe this temple is the
So this was the priest or bishop. He's a bishop. This is him talking the day before.
temple of God. Are you God to claim it to be yours?
Let's just watch that again.
الدرسن تخوى اشقيلو قم ترشا.
Yeah, can anyone make
When he
out
entered the temple again,
الدرسن تخوى اشقيلو قم ترشا.
I can't make out what that is he's got in his hand.
when he entered the temple again, the chief priests and the elders of the people approached the Lord and said, yesterday, by whose authority did you do that? Who gave you the authority to overthrow the tables and kick people out and say, my house is the house of prayer, and you've turned it into a den of thieves? We know and believe this temple is the temple of God. Are you God to claim it to be yours?
Well, there you go. So that was another attack. So let's see. Hi, Kelly. Someone's saying he's only 15. The guy, the attacker. It was during a funeral. Whether it was connected to the funeral, it may be nothing to do with anything else. Let's see if I can find any more information. This might be something that we still don't know all the full information about. Yeah, but a 15-year-old boy has been arrested. Let me go to the BBC site. So, Sydney church stabbing, a boy 15, arrested after the bishop was attacked. Now, this is the police dispersing everybody from the church. Oh, sorry, you got watching that, but even though it's BBC. We need security to go everywhere. We need security to go everywhere, Chumber, it feels like, doesn't it? Just to bloody go to your local supermarket or your local shop at the end of the road. You need bloody security. So who are these people? But where are the crowds? Why are the crowds there? So police disperse crowds after Sydney church stabbing, but why are there crowds there? I mean, I don't think we know the full story of this. David, I was just thinking that myself. What's going on? What is going on? It's like everything's violence, aggression. And you know what? I wouldn't, you know, the police get all this bad press, but you wouldn't want to be there, would you? We'll watch that just one more time and then look some and read the rest of the article. God. Do you think people have gone a bit crazy after COVID or something? But anyway, hi, Nicola. I know it's scary, isn't it? It is scary. You know, oh my God, we've just got to stay in and watch YouTube because we feel safer then. But, you know, but you shouldn't not, for fuck's sake, if you can't go to church and be safe, where can you be safe, for fuck's sake? Good God. Anyway, this incident happened on Monday evening, which is like yesterday evening in Australia, isn't it? As far as Spain is concerned. The Good Shepherd Church in the suburb of Wakeley. At least 4 people were stabbed, but police said none of their injuries were life-threatening. And the incident triggered unrest as hundreds gathered outside the church, clashing with police, of whom 2 were injured. Vehicles were damaged as people threw stones, bricks and bottles. And according to Reuters news agency, people fired pepper spray. So witnesses said that the people gathered were demanding for the attacker to be brought outside. Hi, Maggie. People said they'd responded in numbers to the incident and urged the public to keep away from the area. So the 15-year-old suspect was being. Why was this 15-year-old at the church, and did he know people at the church? You know, there's more to come out about this story. Obviously, there's no suggestion the 2 events are linked. The bishop attacked was named as Mary Emmanuel, and he was Charlie, you do know a lot about things, don't you? Ordained by the Assyrian Orthodox Church in 2011, Mary Emmanuel is seen as a popular and controversial figure. His sermons have received millions of views on social media. There was so much anger, so that's where all the angers come from, because he's popular. He's loved by them all. He's loved by myself as well. And he preaches about the Lord, and we love the Lord. So religion, again, why do people feel that they can do that? I'm not talking about him. Obviously, he didn't do anything wrong. But this boy, who's 15, but of course, 15-year-old boy, he's bloody massive by the look of him. He might only be 15, but he looks, he looks like a big lad. Was he anti what the bishop was saying? Was it a personal thing, connected with the funeral that was being conducted? Somebody else said that he said something about Muhammad, and, you're not supposed to say bad things about Muhammad. But anyway, apparently the bishop has had a turbulent relationship with the Assyrian church, reportedly being suspended for disobeying canons and forming a breakaway church. Oh, it's a cult, is it? In 2021, he became a vocal opponent of COVID-19 restrictions, describing lockdowns in Australia as slavery and arguing that vaccines were futile. Do you know what? COVID caused so many problems, didn't it? Apart from the actual illness itself and the lockdowns and all those things, the divisions that it caused in people, some agreeing with the vaccine, some not agreeing with the vaccine, some agreeing with face masks, other people not agreeing with face masks. I'm just so glad that I was in Spain, because in Spain, it was just, this is it. This is what we're doing. You're doing it, and that's all there is to it. Now, I'm not saying nobody disagreed with it, because of course some people disagreed with it. You just didn't have a choice in Spain. It wasn't, oh, well, wear masks if you feel like it, or don't if you don't feel like it, or do this if you feel like, I watched those bloody stupid press conferences with Boris Johnson, and they were absolute, you just didn't know where you were with them. Whereas in Spain, it was just, this is what you've, whether right or wrong, this is what you're doing. The thing is, once the government lays down like firm rules that, nobody can argue with, And Spanish, it was hard for Spanish people because in Spain, people live outside, you know, much more than in the UK or other countries where it's maybe colder. You know, Spanish people, most of their life is conducting outside. They spend very little time inside the house. And but they did accept it, I think, much more than certainly in the UK. But I think part of that reason was they were given a clear message from the government about it all. But anyway, but COVID caused a lot of divisions, didn't it? In Britain as well, there was Brexit that caused a lot of divisions. It's been division after division. Everybody's polarized now. It's not like, oh, you think that and I think that and let's talk about it and meet in the middle. It's like, well, if you don't agree with me, you're an idiot. You know, it's that sort of thing these days. Anyway, the church said in a statement that another priest, Father Isaac, was also injured and both were taken to hospital. We ask for your prayers at this time, the church said. We also kindly ask anyone at the church premises to leave in peace. Local Mayor Frank Carbone was amongst those calling for calm. He said, I understand that a lot of members in our community are really distraught, but what is important is that I believe the bishop has been taken to hospital and should be okay. So, according to AFP news agency, the Wakeley neighbourhood is a hub for Sydney's small Christian Assyrian community, many of whom have fled persecution and war in Iraq and Syria. In the live-streamed video on the sermon, a man dressed in dark clothing can be seen approaching the bishop. Well, technically he's not a man. If he's only 15, he's a boy. Before appearing to strike him with a weapon that was not immediately identified. Several other people then attempted to intervene and screams of horror can be heard. The injured people suffered non-life-threatening injuries and are being treated by New South Wales ambulance paramedics. All the men hurt. Oh, they're all thought to be men that hurt. Were there no women there then? Are women not allowed in that church or what? Age between. So we've gone from one way it was all women, or except for one, seemed predominantly women. Now it's predominantly men. The motive for the attack is unknown. A man in his 50s and another man in his 30s were taken to hospital. And the hospital's emergency department was closed to the public as a precaution. Maggie, I'm sorry to hear you've had a terrible day. And what did you say you were having? Let me just look back because I missed it. What were you having? Rum and Coke or something, I think you said. Yeah, enjoy it anyway. Just help yourself. You know, sometimes you just need that. That's why I'm on the vino tonight. Sometimes you just have a day where you just need a little vino or something, or a big rum and Coke. Spiced rum and Coke. Perfect. I haven't got an emoji for that. I'm looking at the emojis and thinking, oh, there were lots of women there, Nicola Marie. So he was aiming for the men this time. I'm looking for an emoji that says, yeah, have a rum and Coke. Or, I can't find one, but I've got the hearts. I've got the wine one, but you're not having wine tonight. I'm having wine tonight. I haven't got another appropriate one. Okay, we're going to look at some more information about that, if there is any, because, you know, it may be that we just don't know anymore yet, because I think it's just morning time now, isn't it, in America? It's true the world doesn't, well, for me, I feel like the world hasn't been the same since. Hi, Nicola Marie. I think I said hello to you before, but just in case. I don't think the world's been the same since Brexit, as a British person talking, a British person living in Europe. So you can imagine that was like, I just couldn't get over Brexit. And then, of course, straight after that was COVID, so that was even worse. Yeah. I'm just looking back through the chat and see if I missed anything. Maria, I've had a I've got food delivery coming tomorrow. Even now I've got a car. I mean, I didn't have a car for a long time, so it was convenient to get food delivered, supermarket food delivered. But even now that I've got a car, I still get it delivered because I cannot face going to the supermarkets where all the people. It takes, oh God, it is so worth your while to get your food delivered because, you know, if I was to set off to the supermarket tomorrow, it'd take me half an hour to get there, well, 20 minutes to get there. I'd probably spend half an hour at least in there, if not longer, and then 20 minutes to get back. So it's not only that, it's, you know, the time. Also, it's the effort of, you know, loading it all up in my trolley, going to the till, coming out, loading it up into my car, coming home, bringing it up the steps. I mean, my son does help me out with some of the carrying at the end of it. Sometimes if he's awake, you know, if it depends what time I go, I like to go early before there's anybody there. But if I get it delivered, so tomorrow I'm having it be delivered between 8 and 10, I think. You know, they'll come, they'll bring it up the stairs. It's just brilliant. Saves me all that time. It costs €7 to have it delivered. It's worth every penny because if I drove there, it would cost me petrol money, and then the time while I'm there means I can get on with videos or do whatever I'm doing. You know, it's just, it's so worth it. Hi, Matthew. Oh, I've been agoraphobic before when I was a teenager or late teens, early 20s. I didn't go out the house once for 3 months. I just couldn't go out the house. I went to work. I had to go to work. But, you know, yeah, I'm quite happy to be in the house, honestly. You know, for me, COVID was not that difficult as far as staying in the house is concerned, because I actually quite like to be in the house. What I'm finding hard to do now, hi Jim, what I'm finding hard to do now is get over, you know, get out of the house. But I do enjoy it when I go out the house. Going to Madrid recently, anywhere I go, I enjoy it once I go, but I'm nervous before I go. But I am making a bit of an effort at the moment to try and get out a little bit more because I did spend quite a long time not going out anywhere. Anyway, let's go back to looking at some videos. Let's see. Let's go back to looking at some news. Oh, and some news that I did see tonight, which doesn't seem to be turning up. Oh, let's look at this one.
Vaucluse MP Kelly Sloan. Kelly, thank you very much for joining us. Look, this latest horrific attack just an hour and a half ago, it was broadcast live. It has shocked the Fairfield community. And of course, it comes after just 2 days after 6 people were killed in the stabbing at Bondi Junction.
It's incredibly confronting, Shari. I was due to come in here and talk to you about the impacts of the weekend stabbing on my community in Vaucluse, which people are still coming to terms with. A contact on the ground sent me that video. I looked at it and I have to say I wish I hadn't. If you are watching tonight and your children are in the house, can you please go and check, because this vision is going everywhere and kids should not see it, especially given the events we've seen in the last few days. But you know, Shari, it is a confronting situation. It's a very volatile situation. I can only agree with the mayor and call for calm at the moment. Police are trying to do their job. it doesn't help for more people to turn up at that site. We just need to return to calm.
Well, just as you say that, I've checked my phone and a police contact has texted me saying that a riot is occurring. So a riot occurring. This is why on air tonight we've had the mayor, Frank Carboni, and the deputy mayor, Charbel Saliba, call for calm. You're repeating that call now because there is now a riot. People are so angry, that understandably so, that their local church leader has been stabbed in this horrific way. He is still alive. He's been taken by ambulance to Liverpool Hospital. He is being treated. Another 4 people are being treated at the scene. But Kelly, Sloan, we are hearing reports now that there is a riot forming.
It's incredibly disturbing. I mean, you know, this city at the moment is, it's a tinderbox. People are very vulnerable at the moment. There are inflamed tensions, and this is a stabbing of a very highly esteemed church leader, someone who has a huge social media following, a great following in Fairfield. And for this to happen.
Okay, so I just want to go. So I saw what you wrote, David. Yeah, I think I am a little bit agoraphobic. And I was sorry to hear about your dad not going out, but he was deaf and mute, wasn't he? So I expect he was really worried about going out for whatever reason. I don't know. But of course, the world was slower then, wasn't it? You know, nowadays, I think what I found when I went to Madrid, as much as I enjoyed going to Madrid, it's been so long since I've lived in a big city. I do find big cities really overwhelming. And I liked it when I was in the places that I felt comfortable in, but I hated it on the subway, or, you know, we went on a bus a couple of times, or I hated that. I hated I haven't been on a bus for years. Well, not a busy bus. We have got buses where I live, but, you know, they're never packed. I mean, they were like squeezing everyone on like sardines on these buses in Madrid. And the same in the subway, and I hated that. I did hate that part of it. But I liked it when, you know, once I'd sort of established that I knew the area, that, you know, the little area that I was in and going to places, I was okay then. But I would hate to live in a big city again. I mean, I lived in Manchester all my young years, and I'm glad that I did, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed, you know, going out and doing all those things that you do. But now I wouldn't want to live there. You know, I'm a different age completely now. But you know, I think it would be easy for me to become agoraphobic, you know, never go out the house, honestly. And I think the more you don't go out, even walking the dogs now is a bit of a chore for me. And I used to love going out with the dogs. But again, since COVID, you know, you get comfortable in your house. I like being in my house. I love my house. I've got everything I need here. You know, I haven't got loads of stuff, and I'm not, you know, rich or anything, but everything that I need is here in the house. So I don't want to go out, really. It's a bit worrying, that, isn't it? But I'm making an effort. I am making an effort, going out a bit more, going to, but it is an effort. I always enjoy it when I go out. I always enjoy it. But the effort of actually going out, it is an effort. Let's put it that way. It's an effort, and I dread it, and then I do it, and I think, oh, I'm glad it came out, but I have to push myself to do it. I'm sure there's a lot of you that are the same after COVID.
There is an emotional response happening from this community at the moment. And I concur with leaders in that area that there should be calm now. People should not be turning up. People should be letting the police do their job. We cannot let our police also end up under attack, as they have been tonight as well.
Yeah. Now, the church leader, as you said, very popular, Bishop Mari Emanuel, he gained prominence during the COVID era. He spoke out against the lockdowns. He said that people were being treated like animals. The Daily Telegraph reports that his Facebook group alone has 290,000 followers. So we don't even know how many people were watching the live stream when the violence broke out.
So he was on live stream when he was attacked. And how many followers did they say he has on Facebook? Loads, wasn't it? Hang on, let's just look.
Followers. So we don't even know how many people.
Hang on.
The lockdowns. He said that people were being treated like animals. The Daily Telegraph reports that his Facebook group alone has 290,000 followers. So we don't even.
290,000 followers on his Facebook group. So how many people were watching this live stream? That's where all these people have come from. They were all watching that on live stream and they've all gone down there. Is this actually current, like now? Is it night time in Australia at the moment? No, it's morning now. So this would have been last night.
How many people were watching the live stream when the violence broke out? We don't know the motive yet. This just happened at 7:15 this evening, just an hour and a half ago. For anyone who's just tuning in, a very popular Bishop Ma Murray Emanuel was brutally stabbed, repeatedly stabbed, including to his face and the head and body, while he was delivering a service to his congregation just at 7:15. Kelly, I think one of the things we need to.
Well, that young lad is not going to be able to plead not guilty, is he? Because he was on live stream doing it in front of bloody over however many 300,000 people.
Speak about it, and maybe there's some advice for people. You know, I know in the Eastern Suburbs community, everyone's been feeling terrified, very anxious, very upset after the stabbings on Saturday evening. A shopping centre that was meant to be a safe place, it is now going to become a shrine. We're now seeing the same thing. People should feel safe going to church. Instead, a bishop has been brutally, repeatedly stabbed. Another 4 people, because the congregants, you can see in the vision, get up to try and help him. So at least another 4 people were also stabbed. They're alive, but they were injured. They're now being treated by paramedics. But, you know, it is this terror when people should feel safe going to the shops. They should feel safe going to church. And that's where these attacks have happened.
Shari, it's just so confronting. I can't tell you. It's been a really tough few days for Sydney, for New South Wales, and for our country. Seeing the devastating attacks that happened on Saturday. Today, you know, the pain is still being felt in the eastern suburbs very deeply. People are very distressed, and tonight, if they're watching their TVs, this will be quite triggering for them. You know, I rang home just before I came on air with you to tell my child to turn off his phone, and I would encourage everyone else to do the same. I saw this vision and I thought, what is happening to this city of ours, this beautiful city of ours? So, you know...
And Kelly, just before you go, I understand your son was actually at Bondi Junction when this unfolded.
Yeah, his older, the one that I rang to tell him to get off was the younger one. The middle one was in Bondi Junction when this happened, but he is fine. But so many more people are not fine. So many people are not doing okay.
I just found this interesting about the reporters, you know, who've been reporting on these things, like this stabbing this lady, and then some of the videos that I watched about the shopping centre stabbings, you know, Joel Cauchi. They're locals, you know, and they're absolutely, they just can't get over it. It does seem funny that when something, you know, they started off saying about the shopping centres stabbing, oh, these things just don't happen in Sydney normally. I know these sort of things normally happen in America with guns, etc. And then suddenly they've had another one as well. Is there something in the air? I mean, it feels like that, isn't it? You think, God, was it the eclipse? I mean, what's, you know, where is all this? It just see, and this is only Sydney. God knows what's going on in other parts of the world. I mean, we won't get to know. I'll tell you something, in Britain, you don't get to know half of what goes on because there's lots of things going on in Britain that they don't even report.
Okay, you know, we are a city that is grieving at the moment, and in the middle of that grief, we're seeing this unfold in Western Sydney. it is so disturbing. And I just, I can only repeat that we need calm. We need police to be able to do their job. And, I'm lost for words tonight.
All right. Vaucluse MP Kelly Sloan, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so sorry it's to talk about yet another tragic incident.
Okay.
In the meantime, Mario, we've got in contact with, is a member of this religious community in Western Sydney. And I believe, Mario, are you at the front of the church right now?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, so give me an idea of what you can see to your left and to your right. What can you see right now?
Look, we've got police units on both sides. We have a very distressed community. Their beloved bishop was attacked tonight, as you guys know. And there's helicopters overhead, police units on both sides. People have been pepper sprayed, but well and truly any agitators, well, not even agitators, people are upset that their beloved bishop was and their frustrations are definitely showing.
Were you in the church at the time, or did you go there as soon as you heard the news?
I was not in the church at the time. I heard about it. I've received over 50, 60 phone calls as a member of this community, and I rushed straight here into helping de-escalate.
So in the time that you got there, did you see what we've been able to see via the pictures here, that the numbers of people that were coming was growing and growing, or have we hit the peak of numbers and people are starting to walk away? Give me an idea about when you first turned up, what you saw.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've definitely hit the peak. People are dispersing. Priests on the ground calming people down. But mostly people, any major agitators, the footage doesn't lie. You'll see that later on. They're well and truly dispersed. There's concerned community members now discussing with the priests what to do next.
Do you believe that the agitators were people who were trying to make their way back into the church because the person that we believe responsible, the person that we've all seen on the live footage and in the many replays since, was at that time still inside the church?
I don't know about that specifically. I've seen lots of family members, people who are grieving and concerned about the safety of the priest and the bishop. Nothing. There were tempers and.
I'll get you to take a couple of steps if you can, Mario. I'm sorry, your mobile phone is being swamped by everyone else who's on their mobile phone right now, as is the way. Not normally this many phone calls happening in that one part, certainly on a Monday night. So again, the role of, again, priests, other figures inside the church, they have played a key role in trying to calm things down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still going on now. We've successfully de-escalated what was quite a tense situation, and I'm actually in the middle of it right now with police command. So as soon as I get off this phone call, I need to continue what I was doing earlier. But we've seen a great de-escalation just a moment ago, I was speaking to a lady, a professional woman dressed really, really well. Not a young male in any shape or form, and she's here just crying out the front of the police line saying that she's here for her faith and that Christians are being persecuted all around the world. The last place we want to see Christians being persecuted is here.
Absolutely. Well,
there you go. So, it's bound to be about religion, I suppose, isn't it? Oh dear. So while we were watching that video, I was just casting around looking for some good news, like, some British news or different country type good news. Couldn't find any anywhere. So I think what I'm going to look at is this. Now, this is, these are the kangaroos at the Kangaroo Sanctuary in Alice Springs. Look at their little faces. Well, they'll make you smile if nothing else does. Always makes me smile when I see about the kangaroos. Anything to do with animals always makes you smile. Look at them. I know they grow big, and I know they grow big and they get tough and rough, and the males do. But when they're little babies, they just look so cute. Who's this? Yeah, and they love having their little tummy scratched. Oh, oh, look, bless. That's what people should do to each other. They should just roll when they're angry with someone, they should just roll them over on the back and give them a tummy rub. And then everything would be all right, won't it? Everything would be all right then. Oh, look at that. His little paws. So whenever I'm sort of feeling like a bit fed up, I go onto this Kangaroo Sanctuary Facebook page. Let's see what else I've got. This is Waloo. They just love cuddles. Oh, their little faces. And they love their milk. That's one thing I've noticed. They absolutely love their milk. Look, milk and a belly scratch, that's all they need. Why can't people be like that? Little bottle of milk and a belly scratch and you're happy. And the other one that I like, hang on, I seem to have sort of got off the main thing now. The other page that I like is the wombat one. Where's the wombat one? Yeah, I go on the wombat rescue as well. Now, sometimes I can't watch it because sometimes it's sad stories about wombats that need, a lot of help, and I can't cope with ones that don't survive and stuff. But I like watching the stories about the wombats at the rescue. So these are 2 wombats, there's 3 of them, that they've had from babies and now they're being released into the wild. They probably don't want to be released into the wild, to be honest. But anyway, never mind. Yeah, and then others that they find and they're sick, but they end up getting better. Some don't get better, so sometimes it can be quite sad. Hi, DMV. Yeah, sometimes you see poorly wombats on here. I don't like to see them. They're Australian, aren't they, wombats as well? Like they're only found in Australia, I think. We're all Australian tonight. Yeah. Oh, they are cute. They are cute. They are cute. Bless them. Animals are good. Yeah, we do need a kangaroo emoji, right, Rio? I definitely need a kangaroo emoji. And a wombat one as well. Oh, so Jim says he's been rescuing field mice. We know mice are very intelligent creatures. I had a mouse living in my house for quite a long time because I didn't want to put it in a crew. I was looking for a humane trap for it, and you can't get them in Spain. But anyway, it's a long story, but I did catch it in the end and put it out into the campo. Now, I feel like I'd like to look at something else with you, but I don't want to go on to anything depressing. So what can we look at? Oh, I know what we can look at. There was something I was looking at the other day on YouTube, and I thought, oh, that's bloody brilliant. But of course, I can't remember where it is, but no, I can. It was to do with German Shepherds. Oh, the problem is sometimes if I go on YouTube and start looking at other people's YouTube videos, then they get me, they get me for copyright. But oh no, I won't be able to do that because it won't let me do it. Well, it'll let me do it, but then it'll sting me for it after. Right, let me just have a look on here. God. Right, no. Maybe I'm just not in the right mood tonight. I can't find anything. I'm going to have to love you and leave you, I think, because I'm tired and I'm trying to look for something good for us to look at, but I'm not doing very well. Yeah, send me some pictures of the goats, Jim. That's that Franny the Chihuahua. Let's have a look. No, I can see that it looks good, but the trouble is when you go on to other people, I know what I'm going to show you. Actually, I've thought of something that I'm going to show you. Right, hang on. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the photos of my dogs, not only the dogs I've got at the moment, and videos, because I've got a combination of dogs and videos. And I'm going to show you them. So... Hey, come here. Here. She must have heard me then that I'm going to show these photos of dogs. So I'm just going to show you some pictures of my dogs before I go to bed, and then I am. So this was a dog that I had years ago. Tigra. She was a little Jack Russell, and when she was cold in the winter, she would, you know, that was the sofa, and she would go and sleep behind the cushion in the sofa. So that was her. She tucked herself behind the cushions in the sofa to keep warm. So that's Tigra. This is Riley. Of course, you all know Riley and you all love Riley. Riley again. He's so cute, Riley. He is cute. And there you can see his curly hair on the top of his head. Oh, dearie. There he is. Riley's, his hair's gone curly there. That must have been in the summer because he's got that Mohican on the top of his head. But in the summer, of course, in the humidity, my hair goes curly. You can't keep your hair straight. That's that's my little, what we call little Rocky and Riley on the sofa. I haven't got that sofa now. Oh, I've been through about 5 sofas. You see, as you look at these photos of the dogs, how many sofas I've been through. Because, well, you know, the dogs have just ruined them. The one that I've got at the moment is ruined. I need another one. Riley. Oh, Rocky. Look, when they're asleep, they're so sweet. When they're asleep there and Riley's got his leg over Rocky, they're cuddling up together. It's lovely that. I love that picture. Oh. See, sometimes they love each other and sometimes they don't. That's my Rocky when he was a lot younger. That's probably yet another sofa. Little video. Oh, they're out, got a chewy stick. Hey! 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 Shh! Shh! Hey! I think she's annoyed because she's not getting any attention. Your pictures will come. Rocky always sleeps upside down like that. I mean, he literally just sleeps on his back. Oh, I've forgotten that they used to. I don't think they sleep quite that close together now. Maybe they hate each other now. I don't know, but they used to sleep a lot more. Oh, here they go. They're having a little fight now. I love to watch the dogs fighting. It makes me laugh. There you go. You get an idea there of what Riley's bark is like. It is irritating. Oh. They are little sweeties. They are little sweeties. Yeah, this was during COVID. When we're talking about what you do during COVID, I dyed Riley's Mohican pink one day because I was so totally bored. When I say I dyed it, I didn't dye it. I don't want people saying, oh God, you were cruel to your dog. I just sprayed it with a little bit of pink hairspray. That's all. I was just bored stiff one day and decided to do that. I thought it looked quite nice, actually. Look, it's got the pink there. That was the pink van that I used to have. I haven't got it anymore. Unfortunately, I loved that van. Absolutely loved it. That's Rocky waiting for his toys.
Where's your toys? Are they being washed?
When he washes toys, look, he goes mad.
Where's he gone?
Oh. Oh, I'm so cruel washing his toys. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with any more. I've got loads of them. I'm not going to bore you with them. I'm not going to bore with you with them. But look, thank you for being with me. I bet if anyone's tuned in to watch this and they're thinking, oh, this is about Joel Cauchi's parents and another attack in Sydney, and they're just seeing all these videos and photos of dogs, they'll be thinking, oh my God, what's going on? Anyway, I am going to go and get some rest. But I will be back in the morning, no doubt. And thank you for being here with me, as always. I'll see you really soon in the next video. I don't even know what camera I'm looking at now. In fact, I don't think I'm even on camera at the moment. I need to stop that. Oh, Tia's having a little bark. God, I look tired, don't you? You can see that I look tired. My eyes, my eyes are tired. Shush, shush. I'll see you tomorrow, and take care and have a good evening or a good morning or a good afternoon, and remember to live and love wisely and carefully. And yes, Jim, especially may your goat go with you. No, may your God, I nearly said dog then. May your God go with you. Thank you so much. Night, night. Take care. Maggie, tomorrow will be a better day. Remember, that's what Scarlett O'Hara said. Tomorrow is another day. Bye.